Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show once again. And it's finished Manchester City 4, Crystal Palace 2. Another comeback for City. Another comeback from 2 goals down. This time they got the full 3 points. Last week they only got a point, but this time they got full 3 points. And that is entertaining. At no point did I feel like Crystal Palace were going to win that game because they never really looked like in control. They looked like they had City at arm's length in the first half, but you always felt like if City would get a goal, they would go on and win this game. It was really a matter of how long Crystal Palace could hold out. But my conspiracy theory here is I think City have realized that none of the other teams are on their level. So they're like, "We'll just give you a 2 goal head start, and we'll see how difficult we can make it for ourselves to get match practice." Now, I'm joking. I'm joking. Joking. But no, but it is something. The 2 goals that City conceded, I don't think it's a tactical setup issue for this one because I mean they were set piece goals, and the first one was a lucky deflection, really. That it's an lucky if you're Palace, unlucky if you're City, and it was a ricochet goal. And the second goal was really about poor marking, and I do believe the problem is that I think Stones and Diaz don't work as a partnership. That's just my opinion. I think Stones has looked really. He's had 2 bad games. He had a pretty bad game against Newcastle. He had a pretty bad first half here against Palace as well. And I think it's just that him and Diaz don't work as a partnership. That's just what I think. Could be the fact that Stones needs a little bit of time to get back to match fitness as well. But I just don't think that those two work well together. They need one of them needs a Laporte in there to help them. So I don't know, but maybe Stones and Laporte is the right way to go. Maybe Diaz and Laporte is the right way to go. But I don't think Stones and Diaz work as a pairing. So that's just my opinion. I think that's the issue. That was the issue today. Because aside from the set pieces, there was just that one opportunity. I think it was Edouard, I think, who took a shot that was an easy collection for Ederson. That was really the only chance I think that Palace otherwise had in the whole game. Other than that, I think it was just mostly City. And I think being 2-0 up, I think Palace missed Zaha. I think having Zaha at 2-0 up would have been a massive boost because Eze was the thing. The problem for Eze was he was getting the ball in those sort of areas, the wide areas, but he couldn't carry the ball. Every time he kept losing it or he kept going down trying to get a foul. Zaha has that ability to carry the ball, to take it further forward. What it would do was it would force City back and also it would give Palace some breathing space. Eze couldn't do that. And so every time he got the ball, go a couple of steps, then lose it, it meant that the ball just kept coming back and back and back. And with that kind of pressure, City were always going to get ahead. The turning point was Bernardo Silva's goal. And I know everybody will talk about Haaland, and he took his goals well. The thing was, without that Silva goal, I don't think City would have had such a comfortable win because when Silva scored, the thing is, City were flat up until the 55th minute. They were flat. They were pressuring Palace, but they weren't necessarily hurting them in areas that really mattered. Then that Silva run comes in, and I thought that was just such a good run. He just goes past a couple of players and he gets his shot away, takes a deflection, but still, nonetheless, he made his own luck. It goes in. And I think that suddenly changed the whole complexion of the game. It made Pep realize. Because up until that point, I don't think City knew what to do with Palace's organization at the back and with their placement of the players. I think he realized, what, that is an area. If Silva can keep cutting in, he can get joy. And so he switched to a back three, and Silva basically became the default right wing back. So what happened was every time he got the ball, because up until that, because when in City's 4-3-3, he was playing in the midfield role. But when he went over to right wing back, he just had the license to go, okay, I'm gonna get the ball at the right, and I'm just gonna cut inside. I'm gonna cut inside. And he kept cutting inside, And for some reason, Palace just couldn't deal with it. Throughout that game, I think he didn't score again, but I think he had 3 or 4 runs after that. We were just cutting inside, and it started creating spaces because the Palace defenders like, what do we do? Who do we mark? And it just completely changed the complexion of the game after that. And then Haaland started finding space because, of course, when you switched to back 5, it meant that Alvarez came in, and so it gave Haaland a little bit more space, and he started getting open. Like he started being left open because I forgot in the first half, and I was going to make this point if City had lost, I was going to make this point that Haaland, in some ways in a 4-3-3, Haaland just seems like a magnet where the ball kind of finds him, the defenders kind of mark him, and he just struggles a little bit. And I don't think he looked that good in a 4-3-3 while City were playing because I think he was struggling to get on the ball. He was struggling to get into the game, and for some reason, that was a bit in the whole City performance. As soon as City switched to a 3-5-2, 3-4-3, it just completely opened the game up for him because then they had those double flankers, they had everything. It just changed the game, and maybe that is and I'm sure City will not play a back 3, but that's something to consider as well. I think he just needs a little bit more. He needs more space basically, and I think in the way that City play in a 4-3-3, he doesn't get that space. But anyway, after that first goal, was just basically like how long can City hold out? How long will City take to get the second goal and the third and beyond? Then really was a matter of when rather than if. and the second goal comes. Haaland, the wonderful header. Again, brilliant cross from Foden. Again, actually, the move started from that right hand side. From that side, it came in. Nice cross. Haaland makes it 2-2. It's a matter of time. And then again, the third goal as well from the right hand side again. This time Stones scuffed his shot, but Haaland was there to just say thank you very much, and he puts it in. 3-2. Unmarked, leaving him unmarked. I think the reason why he was being left unmarked was because the Palace defenders kind of got dragged towards because when in the 4-3-3 they had 5 defenders, and they were like having 3 defenders for Haaland. As soon as they switched to a back 5, or went to a back 3 rather, the fullbacks kind of went, well, now we've got to occupy 2 players, so it just kind of made more space for Haaland, because he was like, okay, well, now I'm not coming up against 3 defenders, I'm not coming up against 1. So it made that difficult for City. But the third goal, the hat-trick goal, I thought was the best one of the lot from Haaland, because that's what Haaland really is. At his best, that's what he is. Gets the ball in space, runs past the defender, shrugs off Ward, like, well, Ward's trying to, trying to do something to him, and he's like, no, don't worry about it. I'm scoring this no matter what you do, and just puts it in. That was a good goal, and it makes it 4-2, and the game is over. So and then that's that. I think once they went 2-2, you knew City were going to win at that point. And I think for Vieira, the concerning thing will be how quickly his side capitulated from 2-1. I think they went 2-1 at about 56 minutes. After that, they just conceded 4 goals very quickly. So the fact that they built it so quickly, I think, is something that will be of concern to Vieira. And I think it was partly because of they were spooked by what Bernardo Silva was doing on that right-hand side. Every time cutting in, it just, it spooked the defenders. That's, I think, what happened. So that's something that he will need to work on going forward. They did miss Zaha as well today, and that might have made a bit different game. Still think City would have won though, but it might have made it interesting. At 2-0, they had Zaha, to see what would have happened. Would have been interesting. For City, the problem is, of course, what I was noticing as well was the depth, the lack of depth. They didn't have any. If they had to chase the game at 2-0, the way didn't have a lot of options. I mean, they only had Alvarez and Gundogan. They were missing Grealish. They were missing a few other, Phillips as well. So they didn't have a lot of options to call up the bench. So that is something that might be looked at. I know City is struggling with injuries, so once they have players back, it will be easier, or at least a little bit easier. But that might be an area of concern. And then the defense, I don't know what's wrong. Something, again, like I said, I think it's a personnel issue rather than a setup issue, but something's not clicking. I think it's that defensive partnership. I think Stones and Diaz as a partnership are not working, and maybe Pep will be thinking. And I mean, Ake has started a lot of games by the way as well. So maybe Ake, I've forgotten Ake here, or I missed out Ake, but maybe Ake and. Basically, if you got Laporte, you start Laporte and Diaz, Laporte and Stones. If you can't start Laporte, you got to bring in Ake and Diaz and Ake and Stones. So I think at the moment, Stones and Diaz is probably the 4th best pairing that City have, and that's something that they will need to look at. At the moment, they have to start because the other 2 players are not available. But once they are, he's got to figure something out there. Might even be worth looking at Kyle Walker as well. Maybe take him off and bring in Sergio Gomez on left. Maybe not, maybe something, but I don't think Walker did too badly. I don't think Walker was at fault for it today. I don't think the City setup was at fault today. It was just basically 2 set-piece goals, which was, I think, because of the centre-back pairing, where both players are very similar in style, and so therefore the marking might have been affected. But anyway, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section, of course, and what the game. I mean, if you, but as a non-City fan, it is disappointing when the opposition goes 2-0 up and then lose 4-2. I was a little bit sad, but you got to hold your hands up and say, well, this is City. They're the champions. They're going to win a 3rd title in a row. They're probably going to win the Champions League. So these sort of things are going to happen. So you got to hold your hands up. But let me know in the comments, what do you think as well about the game? What do you think of Haaland's magnificent performance? Smash like for Haaland. I'll give him the man of the match. But if he hadn't scored a hat-trick, I would have. If he only scored 2 goals, I would have given it to Bernardo Silva. The hat-trick kind of gives him the man of the match, but actually I would have said Bernardo Silva, because without that first goal, that comeback isn't on. So that, for me, that's that. But yeah, smash like for Haaland, smash like for Bernardo Silva, smash like for Manchester City as well. Do let me know your comments, of course, and do remember to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook as well. We are going to do a few more today, and there's going to be more coming tomorrow as well. So if you subscribe, you get notified to all the videos that drop. So do subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye bye.